Hey, so I'm actually excited about Genshin again.
Alright!
Yes, I am actually having fun playing Genshin, right? I know that there's a lot of videos coming out talking about how much this game fucking sucks, and honestly, I've made my own. But at the same time, despite all of my complaints about the past month, in terms of like how dry it's been in terms of like primos and stuff like that, I think a lot of the complaints are a bit forced. Honestly, the video that's trending right now, the Great JPEGs video, is kind of funny, but like honestly, like what is this fucking team, dude? Like if I use these teams, I'd fucking hate Genshin as well. Like, I'm not gonna fucking lie. But let's get over this, and I'll start to explain why I'm having fun about Genshin. Now, big complaint is that we're not getting a lot of rewards, and I'm gonna say right now, if Genshin doubled the rewards of primos, nothing would change. Like people would just be happier, right? But they just can't do that, right? But we'll go over like when I started, there was no imaginary theater. We're getting 1,000 primos if we have good teams, like slightly less if we don't have good teams. We have this dumbass mini game that gives us 60 primos. We have this new area which is filled with chests and filled with quests and stuff like that we can do, which gives us a bonus 400. Wonderland currently actually gives you primos, though I don't like playing Wonderland. I just play fucking Connect 4 for like half a minute, and I get the primos, which is not bad. We do test runs and gives primos. We got free 5-star every month, and yeah, look at the character, and well, not every month, every other month, but look at the character who I'm picking, right? And I'll talk about that a little later. But look, this new event, which is completely independent of the area that we just got, gives a free costume, gives a free 4-star, gives a free outfit for that 4-star, gives you tons of primo gems, and yeah, we're being spoiled right now, right? Now, I get it. There's a lot of things that are wrong with fucking like, Genshin as a whole, and I'm not gonna say the game's perfect, but one of my biggest complaints about the game was the new Hexarai, the new hotness, right? Now you might notice some of these characters if you've quit and are just sort of curious about the train wreck that Genshin's become, but you might notice some like recognizable faces. Yeah, Mona, Razor, Fischl, Sucrose all got buffs and are now relevant. Razor out damaged Raiden potentially for a little while there, and we got fucking Duran, right? Now the main issue with this new Hexai system is even though these characters have been buffed, they're still sort of wonky and sort of weird. There's no like shielder. There's only one shielder, and they came out last patch, and there's no like healer. So these teams were completely like blocked off from any like consistent interruption resistance, right? And also you were sort of like, you had to be really skill based to get these teams to work. There's also been buffs to Venti, Klee, Albedo, not completely making these characters relevant again, but still hefty buffs to these characters. And I will say that I was extremely disappointed in Varka on release, but now with Nicole and Duran and Venti, he's top 5 teams, right? And he's only due more buffs, right? And I'm going to go over some of the newer buffs, right? Which sort of sorts out the situation with Xarai. So you might notice some familiar faces here: Diona, Kui, Beto. These are characters that pretty much everyone has, and they've just been buffed back into relevance. Kui is now best in slot for like one of the most meta teams right now, and is only going to get better, right? Other characters like Rousley, who underperformed, Yamiko, who underperformed, Sino, who underperformed, even on release, are now getting buffed and giving new relevance with this new revelation system. And as well as Mizuki, who was kind of shit on release as well. No, what's her fucking name? No, Daya buffs, unfortunately. But I'll try and go over like what these buffs are all about. But the thing about this is Kui is like one of the best healers in the game. The fact is that she only healed before, but now she is an off-field applicator for cryo. Does decent damage and heals. And Diona, who's also a shielder and EM buffer, is now completely relevant. Beto now buffs the new reaction, and new reactions are all about cryo. A previously like pretty bad element, like all around, an element that people despised and thought was just like not relevant anymore, is now buffed into relevance. And the whole thing is now you can have Hexai Rai like stellar revelation teams, and that sort of like fixes the whole lack of support option, right? And also buffs Varka, but let's get into it. So there's a new stellar conduct, which is basically ice and electro, which can crit just like the lunar reactions that came out. And I'll go over lunar reactions in a bit, but this new reaction is fucking Kino, right? And it's enabled by having one of the new stellar characters and any like electro character, right? This is like going to rework the entire system of Genshin, right? Like characters who were no longer relevant, like Kui and Razor, who people were crying out for relevance for, Beto, are all brought back into the picture. And it's not just Electro and Cryo that's getting a big buff. Overload got buffed slightly, and there's new reactions coming out. So Kazuha, a fan favorite, I would say, someone that people loved to play back in the day, is going to be a stellar wind like guy, right? So now wind can crit, right? And this is going to bring back characters that people loved into relevance again, like fucking Venti and Sucrose and Lanyan, and they're all going to have like purpose on the new Ice Swirl, like Stellar Swirl teams, which like Ice Crit, right? And on top of that, like there's a new Dendro reaction coming out, which potentially is going to allow Dendro a reaction like an element which had fallen into bad graces, like almost completely unusable in these modern patches, unless you're doing Lunar Bloom, but we'll get into that later, into relevance again. And we could see potentially great buffs for Nahida, as well as like other teams, you know. Another character I suspect is going to get stellar buffs is Yao Yao, who, because she was involved in the Little Hexarai teams, and all the other Little Hexarai characters got buffs. So maybe even Sayu could be a stellar buff character. But this is all based on what I've seen from the leaks. But basically, everything that I had to like complain about in terms of character viability and team building is completely being flipped upside down. And another like major complaint a lot of people had was like Geo was irrelevant, but now with the new Lunar Crystallize reaction, like the reaction where like allows to like Geo to do damage, top 5 teams right now, right? Like previously, like people could doom on Geo because all it did was allow you a shield of that element that you reacted with. But now, it's potentially one of the most damaging elements reactions in the game, right? Dendro had a slight resurgence with Lunar Dendro, but still sort of isn't as good as the electro lunar stuff. But what I'm trying to say in overall is that this game's changed, right? And it's changing fast. And another thing that is crazy, right? Like, Bennett is now going to be not considered on teams, right? Bennett is like almost completely power crept by Nicole and Kwee. Let that settle in. Like, if you played this game before, like, Kwee is probably going to end up being a meta pick over Bennett. Because Bennett's like unusable. Pyro is one of the worst elements now. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that. Right? Like, because it doesn't interact with the new cryo systems. Now, Kwee is a healer who is a buffer, and now for this new cryo system, like, whole thing, and it's completely like reworking the game, right? It's something else. It's something else, and I can't help but be excited for it. Like, all the characters that I wanted to use are being brought into relevance. The new Cryo MC is looking to be potentially the best one yet. Potentially best in slot for teens for a long time going forward. He's going to enable all these new Cryo reactions, Stellar Swirl, Stellar Conduct, Stellar Dendro, or whatever. And yeah, like, he's going to be best in slot, and people are going to pick him over Bennett. I'm saying that in the year 2026. Now, I think I've ranted a little bit too much. I'm probably going over my points too repeatedly, but what I'm saying is that a lot of these people who are making these videos are making money off of it. I'm not saying the Great JPEG is, but currently Genshin is still top 5 games in the market for gacha, and it's only getting better. And if they keep going this path of buffing old characters and making them relevant and making the game fun to play again, then the hate is going to look more and more forced. Anyway, I just thought I'd give my opinions. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Ciao, ciao.